Hey everyone, hope the job search is going well. I hope my links last time had helped you out. If you don't know that I have a video before this, go onto my page, you'll find it. It's the only one labeled how to. Um, well, at least at this time. Anyways, so last time I talked to you about different ways to apply the job, and there's, well, really 3 components. I clearly can't count at 9 o'clock at night. But yeah, so the internet's a really big factor, and we're going to talk about more ways that you can use it. So the number one thing that you want to think about is the company that you're working for. A lot of the sites that I send you to, either a huge company is listed or a smaller company. And what you want to do is the obvious. You want to research it. Most things you can find by just typing the company name into Google. Big places like GABA, Aeon, and what's it, Geo, I think it is, and Jets, obviously. You can find them pretty much right away. There's going to be people who have been with those companies for a while or have written about them. Some of the smaller ones are going to be more difficult because sometimes private schools or private companies will post things. Kindergartens especially are a little bit harder, but a lot of them have school websites, and usually, especially on the Ohio Sensei website, the school, if they have a website, will post the link so you can actually go check out, like, to see what they've been doing. And a lot of times they'll have somebody write in English, like their current English speaker will write like little blurbs, and then somebody will write in Japanese about what the kids were doing that day or that week or whatever, which is really nice because it lets you know that they're a legit place. So that's pretty cool. Sometimes you're just going to have to rely on blogs and stuff like that. I know when I was first applying, I didn't know anything about Fifth Wings. It was kind of sketchy feeling when I was applying because there was really nothing, and it wasn't a big company, and I don't think it'll ever really be a big company because I don't want to be one. And they're focused in a very small area. So there wasn't really anything on it, except every time I Googled, it was more ads. So eventually I did find a blog that somebody had written, a girl, and it was really helpful. She didn't write too much about the company, but I did get a good glimpse about her experiences and who she dealt with and how things went. So it was pretty cool, and I'm sorry I have a cold, or at least the end of one. But anyways, so research. Just make sure that you can find something, or if they don't have a website you can use when you're writing your opening letter to them, a letter of interest, ask them to expound upon themselves. If they have a website that you can access that you didn't see or can't find, if there's somebody else they can talk to who's worked with them for a while, so you can get a better feel for the attitude of the company. So that should be pretty easy for you. Another thing that you want to think about is your perspective on teaching. If you're kind of a stick in the mud, it's always got to be your way all the time, maybe it's not for you. A lot of times I've read about people who are very determined in their actions. They want things to be a certain way, and they don't like it when it's not that way. It's kind of funny because, that could be said also of the Japanese. I've heard people say that. But the fact is, you're the assistant in almost all of these jobs. The exception is the eikaiwa. I'm trying really hard to say it right this time. Where you're pretty much leading your own class. So you have control over that stuff, which is nice. But if you're an ALT or JET, you're an assistant teacher. especially for the junior high school levels. You are there to assist the Japanese teacher who is teaching English in school. You are not their head teacher for that language, even though you are the native speaker or the more experienced speaker. Elementary school, I found that there's a little more leeway. Some schools will want you to have more control over the lessons, decide on games and how the lesson's gonna flow. Some are still pretty much in charge. And every school's a little different, every teacher's a little different. You have to be prepared to adjust and to change to fit the needs of those teachers. If you are set in your ways and you find it very difficult to change or be flexible, I don't know if this job is going to be good for you. Don't come and apply to these jobs if you intend to just go chill in Tokyo all the time. You're here to work, and they're going to make sure you fill those hours. What else can I tell you? Make sure you can tolerate children. I'm not saying you have to like them. I'm not saying you have to love them. But you're going to be working with them. At least be able to tolerate them a little bit. There's a high chance you're going to be working with very young children. Or you are going to get adults. It really depends, again, whether you're working in a public school, if you're working in doing the night classes and stuff like that. Night classes, you're more likely to get adults. You have a higher chance of high schoolers and middle schoolers. But there's also the chance of even younger than elementary school. You might get preschoolers, you might get kindergartners. It depends on the company and what they need to fill. And tolerate teaching and tolerate people who don't understand. If you're one of those people who, when someone comes up to you and says, I need help, I know you know how to do it, please help me, and they're just messing up the whole time. If you're one of those people who just cannot stand that and doesn't have the patience to just breathe and walk them through it again and again and again, because sometimes the way it's being presented to them, they're not going to get it. And you have to think to yourself, okay, well, clearly this method's not working, so how can I make it so that way this other aspect could be put into it? Okay, because some students, again, it's all about the learning. More visual, more audio, whatever. Everybody's different. But you know that. You learn differently than your other classmates or your siblings. But I've talked for a while now. If you have any questions that you want me to answer about life in Japan or having a job in Japan, just send me a message or post it in the comments below, and I will try to get back to you. So, see you later. Bye!